The Myth of Calm by Stephanie Larocque. How institutions mistake composure for credibility and punish those who cannot fake it. Calm is the currency of credibility. In police stations, courtrooms, and government offices, the person who sounds measured wins. A trembling voice, a raised tone, a tear, these become red flags, not cries for help. It is a quiet system built on a single, lazy assumption. Whoever looks calm must be telling the truth. This is the myth that props up modern justice. It simplifies human chaos into something bureaucracies can process, and it punishes the people who most need to be heard. The cult of composure, law, and order are built on appearances. A courtroom looks serene not because truth is prevailing, but because the system depends on performance. Judges demand decorum. Officers are trained to control emotion. Prosecutors learn to manage witnesses. Calm keeps the paperwork clean. It saves time. A mother shaking in fear or a victim stumbling through trauma does not fit the file. So those moments are edited out, dismissed as hysteria, instability, or mental health concerns. The system does not ask what happened to you. It asks why you are not calm about it. Research on trauma shows that victims rarely speak in clean, linear sentences. Adrenaline, fear, and fragmented memory make their stories sound erratic. Yet the people evaluating them are trained to prize composure and emotional restraint. The result is predictable. Credibility belongs to the person least affected by harm. A history written in Latin law began as a language meant to exclude. Early legal codes in Europe were written in Latin, intentionally inaccessible to the public. Justice was never built for accessibility. It was built for control. The robes, the titles, the ceremony, all of it is inherited from a system designed to separate power from the people it governs. Today's legal system pretends to be democratic, but the instinct remains. Complexity protects authority. Procedure replaces empathy. Strip away the Latin, and the logic is the same. This is not for you to understand. This is for you to obey. The performance of reason abusers and manipulators know how to use this system. They learn to weaponize calm. In family courts, workplaces, and criminal investigations, the person who can stay composed while lying gains credibility over the person telling the truth through pain. Psychologists call it impression management. Police call it demeanor assessment. It is how a perpetrator can confess in private and still appear credible in public. It is why women describing intimate abuse are accused of exaggeration, while men denying abuse are praised as measured. Calm is not truth. Calm is rehearsal. Wrongful conviction inquiries across Canada, Donald Marshall Jr., David Milgaard, Guy Paul Morin, show the same pattern. Police and prosecutors trusted confident statements over frightened witnesses. They built certainty out of tone. The self-protection of bureaucracy. Every institution learns to protect itself. When a case exposes error, the reflex is not to fix it, but to contain it. The process becomes mechanical. The modern term is autopilot. Cases move through the system whether or not justice has been done. Justice becomes a conveyor belt. Keep it moving. Keep it quiet. Keep it calm. You can see it across Canada. In the Colton Boushie case, RCMP officers mishandled evidence and treated grieving family members as suspects. In the Desmond inquiry in Nova Scotia, a veteran's family begged for intervention while agencies passed responsibility back and forth until tragedy became inevitable. Reports end with the same empty phrases. Communication breakdown, procedural oversight, training required. But the root cause remains untouched. Institutions prize calm over confrontation. How legal aid became a holding pattern. Legal aid was meant to level the playing field. In reality, it has become a triage unit for the poor, understaffed, overworked, and forced to prioritize efficiency over truth. The promise is simple. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided. The reality is harsher. Do not expect that lawyer to have time to investigate. When truth takes too long, deals become the currency. Innocence becomes negotiable. People most in need of a real defense are pressured to plead guilty simply to escape the machinery. Gender, power, and the punishment of emotion. Studies on gender bias in Canadian courts show a consistent pattern. Women who express emotion are judged less credible. The same tears that make a man appear sincere mark a woman as unstable. This double standard thrives because nobody names it. Institutions pathologize emotion. They turn empathy into evidence against those who display it. Victims learn to mask themselves. Sit still. Lower your voice, swallow your fear. The system calls this cooperation. It is not cooperation, it is survival. The cost of being disbelieved. Behind every procedural error is a life reshaped by dismissal. Some lose children in custody battles. Others lose homes, health, jobs, stability. Many lose the will to repeat their truth to people who never listened. These are not rare tragedies. They are the routine cost of bureaucracy. Oversight reports repeat the same language. Lessons learned, best practices, improved training. But nothing changes because calm still equals credible. Emotion still equals unreliable. The public hears justice reform. The system hears keep appearances tidy. The pattern, not the exception. The myth of calm is not an accident. It is a design. It keeps power comfortable. If the accused looks angry, the crown looks justified. If the complainant looks distressed, the officer looks professional. Calm protects the hierarchy. People inside the system are not monsters. They are stretched thin, following a script that rewards detachment and punishes emotion. Admitting error feels dangerous. Staying composed feels safe. And so the script continues. A glimpse from Ottawa. By the time the pattern reached an Ottawa courtroom, it was complete. A woman with late-stage COPD, no criminal record, and years of documented abuse was criminalized for sending lawful emails about her children. Her ex-partner appeared calm, polished, and reasonable. She appeared ill, anxious, and desperate to be heard. Police refused to test recordings capturing his threats, calling it too expensive. The Crown dismissed exculpatory material and cited her illness as instability. They enforced expired peace bond conditions and treated her disability as character evidence. That is not oversight. That is contempt. Her story is not unique. It is a mirror, the myth exposed. What holds the system together is not truth. It is comfort. Calm means the case can close. Calm means nobody has to face their own negligence. It is a culture that confuses detachment with fairness. Calm is not virtue. Calm is often the privilege of those who have never been pushed to the edge of panic. Abusers often appear calm because they feel nothing. Survivors shake because they have felt everything. What has to change? Real justice begins with dismantling demeanor as evidence. Credibility must rest on facts, not performance. Police, prosecutors, and judges need trauma-informed training that reflects reality. Memory fractures under fear. Voices rise under threat. Calm can be counterfeit. Legal aid must be rebuilt so lawyers have time to investigate. Oversight bodies must be given power to discipline, not simply recommend. And perhaps most importantly, the public must stop confusing politeness with justice. Accountability will never be calm. It will be loud, messy, human. That is what truth sounds like when it finally gets a microphone. Closing truth. The myth of calm is how institutions keep order without delivering justice. It allows them to mistake silence for peace and composure for integrity. It is how abusers win and how victims are rewritten. The future of fairness depends on unlearning that myth. Officers, lawyers, and judges must be taught that emotion is not evidence of guilt and calm is not proof of honesty. Calm is easy. Truth is not. Justice will not begin with calm. It will begin when the system chooses to sit in the noise it created.
In the silence, I still stand. Truth like fire in my hands. You turned their hearts into a wall, fed them lies until they fall. Every memory you rearranged, but love is something you can't change. You tried to bury me in blame, but I still rise, I speak my name. Consequence, it echoes on. Every lie will face the dawn. consequence, consequence.